In order to properly scout alfalfa, it's essential that you have a sweep net constructed like this with a 15-inch rim, durable enough so that it can take the beating through the alfalfa. Now normally our sweep counts will be a series of 20, but I've found occasions where I actually have to cut the number of sweeps down simply because of the number of insects will overwhelm you otherwise. So basically the reason this is called a sweep is the action of the net is back and forth. The top of the handle serves as kind of a fulcrum, and you only penetrate about halfway down into the alfalfa. So here's how we do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Then we give the net a shake to get everything down in the tip of the net. Grab the base of the net like this and shove it up through. And then at this point, this is when we examine the contents very carefully, taking out the stems and things like that and looking for the contents of the net. It's inevitable that we're going to get plant samples, plant debris in the net when you do this. And so as you take this material out, I often recommend that you keep it fairly tightly closed so that highly mobile insects like potato leafhoppers don't get lost in the count. Carrying this net gives you a number of benefits because it does truly sample the whole insect community. But then what you do is you take these sections of plant out, looking for any insects that might be hitching a ride, and make sure you count those. Then as you get down to the contents in the bottom of the net, you'll oftentimes find out, especially by the middle of the season, you'll find out that you have a very diverse insect community. This particular net sample has got a green clover worm, it's got pea aphids, it's got a predator insect, what's called a syrphid maggot, it's got alfalfa weevil larvae in here, a number of different insects, and it had potato leafhoppers before we let them go. Okay, so now we've got a sweep sample, and we've looked at the numbers of potato leafhoppers coming out of that net. What we'll do with those numbers is we compare those to the height of the alfalfa and fit it into the threshold equation. And basically we determine whether we're at the point where we need to spray insecticide on the field. Of course, just as with weevil and other insects, we have to do this based on anticipation of the number of days until cutting. Most of the alfalfa insects we deal with can be, in part at least, alleviated by timely cutting. Now, the question about alfalfa weevil versus potato leafhopper. Alfalfa weevil actually consumes leaf area. Potato leafhopper has a different kind of a feeding style. It basically will insert a very, very fine stylet into the plant, and it injects some salivary juices into the plant to help liquefy the contents. It slurps them back up through that hollow stylet, and that's how it feeds. Well, in the process of doing this, it creates a condition called hopper burn. And basically what happens is it inhibits the growth of the tip of the alfalfa, and that's where most of the growth occurs. And so when we have heavy potato leafhopper infestations in a field, it basically stops the growth of the alfalfa, and that's how the damage occurs.
Kevin, this particular grower raises about 200 acres of alfalfa for cash crop, and the leaf stem ratio is very important to him, and we're trying to make sure that we keep this stand for him and that get the highest quality hay that's possible for this grower. A number of insects that we found out here from the standpoint, I'm going to take a wait and see approach. We have very little feeding on the leaf tissue right now, but it's something that we're definitely going to have to monitor the next couple days.
Yeah, Jim, it's good-looking alfalfa. I think that normally what we tend to look out for is excessive stemminess in the alfalfa, especially for first cutting, that it get excessively stemmy. But this is good-looking hay. It looks like it, as you mentioned, it's got a good leaf to stem ratio. It looks like it's on its way to a good second cutting.
This individual that I had here, we went in early. We came out here at dormant stage with some syncord to help alleviate places for the alfalfa weevil to lay into. Got rid of the henbit and chickweed, try to eliminate any places for the insects and powdery mildew and diseases like that to happen. We got a great first cutting off, a 2-ton basically cutting off the first one, and now we're concerned about the insects that we found here today. My approach to the insects are going to be a rescouting in a couple days, make sure we get that leaf to stem ratio that he's looking for in the second cutting, but then also to monitor the control of the grasses, the weeds that'll be coming in not only in this cutting but the following cutting. So we need to look at certain select programs for the grass and maybe some Velpar later on in the year for some of the water hemp type of situation. Keep this field as clean as possible, and then as we go on, make sure that we monitor for the summer insects, potato leafhopper, and as we get through this first flush of alfalfa weevil. We have been able to get up in a good year up to 7 cuttings. This particular farmer raises about over 8 ton per year off of most of his alfalfa acres.